That's very laggy. All right, hey kids. Welcome to our podcast. I don't have a name for it because this one's gonna be a little different than ones we've done before. But I'm here. I'm Ben, joined as always by my guests. We got the lovely Dante,
Hi.
and and then we got the bottom Taylor.
Ew.
Ew. I like how I said this is gonna be a more like serious podcast, and then the first thing I do is a joke like that. But first off, how you guys been? Just go around. This is kind of like our check-in vibe chat for the quarantine.
Uh, I'm good. I'm a little bit older now. Had a birthday past weekend.
Happy birthday, Dante!
It didn't feel like a birthday because everything's locked down, but I'm still here.
Nobody was around. You're 23 now, right?
Yep. It's my Jordan year. Hey, we put it on Facebook.
Man, wow. Y'all, funny thing is, I think only me, Chris, and Chris, and Josh were the only ones to not have birthdays
In the quarantine?
during the quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got to go do stuff.
Did you do anything on your birthday, Taylor, or were you like out of town?
What did I do for my birthday?
'Cause I don't remember if we saw you around that time or not. I remember what we did for Chris's, but
I feel like you were out of town. I don't know.
you might. It was January. It could have been either way.
I think I was out there.
It was cold
No.
outside.
I was here. Because I stopped. Remember, I quit in January.
For real.
Then
Yeah.
I went back to work February.
Mm-hmm. Dante, all our birthdays except for yours happen when it's cold out. We're in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah. Perfectly fine with me.
So Taylor, I wasn't going to, but then I told Dante I put you on blast because we were going to record last week, and we had a communication breakdown. So, because originally it was going to be, we were trying to do all four of us with Chris, but it's it was a scheduling nightmare, and then I misread a message.
Yeah, because I was like,
I thought you said it would be you and me, because I think you meant to say it was like a typo, and it was us instead of something else. So I think you're supposed to say, just so I'll have something to talk about, we'll wait. But it came through and
no, I think
go ahead.
The way I wrote it was a run-on sentence, so it was like
You need some punctuation.
It was like fucking it was basically like I could look it up, but I'm gonna try to go off memory just because I don't want to open my phone. I think it was like, you said, oh, you want to record something? I was like, yeah, but I kind of want to do it with all of us, and so it was like one long run-on sentence, and that would got.
And I think all love got cut off, so all I saw was us. So I said it said just us. So no, just be me and you. So I told Dante about I got my topics ready, and then the next day I said, okay, what time do you want to do it? And then the funniest thing about it is that the way, like you obviously you were very we didn't get an argument or anything about it, but the way you said it was just like, it was like when you break up with your ex and it was like you thought it was a break because you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have been clearer.
I didn't realize you said it like that.
Yeah, so it just cracked me up. But I won't say it was a blessing, but or even that it worked out. But since last week, a lot has happened in the world. The most recent, of course, is the very unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman, our Black Panther, which really fucking hit me.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
because like
celebrity death.
Right, and it's like those always hit you, but I can think of like three that like fucking stayed with me throughout the day and like changed how my evening went. And that was like Robin Williams, Michael Jackson, and then Chad was the most recent thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big one.
I probably
that you missed.
Oh, Kobe. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
The
Because
COVID one
like
messed up
you're
everybody.
100% right. Because I did not want to go into work that day. Because like that happened in the morning, and we had like a work group
Yeah.
test, and we were like none of us want to go in, but like we had to, you know. So
Yeah.
you're right. That fucking sucked. Um.
For for me, it was Mac Miller, Kobe, and
Oh yeah.
Chadwick, and usually the I try not to get into like celebrity deaths and things like, or usually it just doesn't affect me. But those three were like,
Right, because it's
wow.
like how much do you really know about them, and how much have they really affected you? So like
Yeah.
Hmm.
Chad was probably the last person. Like you don't expect any of those guys to die. Like is because
Hmm.
like I talked to my dad about it, and like the closest thing that's ever happened to that was probably like Christopher Reeves back in the day, and that's still so different. You know, what I mean, that's still such a different situation.
Hmm.
But um, and you see a lot of all the messages that have been shared, and like I think what really hit it on the head that really made it uh help explain why was what Billy D. Williams said, because he said he not only showed a generation of black kids that you can have a hero that looks like you, but it showed a generation of white kids that you can have a hero who doesn't look like you, which is like I think
Very
is
powerful.
like because that movie obviously it reached completely different now because there was like a lot of Jesus imagery with him like oh dude that scene when he comes back at the end is gonna hit so different now when you watch it.
Hmm.
Um, but that movie has such a big impact now. You'll see it even more so in like 10 years. You know what I mean with like the next
Most definitely.
generations coming
Yeah.
forward.
See, I still remember like going to the movie theater watching that, and I rarely go see the same movie more than once. Like it has to be something I truly care for to see more than once, and Black Panther was
Right,
that.
because you guys saw
Shoot,
it
I
without me and then you
remember,
saw it with me right after. I
Yeah.
remember that.
yeah, shoot, the day we first saw it with me, Dante, and Chris, the day we needed that at the time because of what had happened
Yeah.
personally to us and around our friendship group. We needed that, especially
Hmm.
on that day. Hmm. And that was a big help
Yeah,
to
because it
like
Oh
was
yeah.
it was validate.
hmm
It meant something. Obviously, you know what I mean.
yeah.
It just hurts, and
And it's,
like it's
yeah,
very unfortunate after what happened because like, I didn't even know, and it just really hit me. Like I was like, what he had? I had no idea. Like it really rocked me
Hmm.
because I was like, damn, he was dealing with that for like all this time, and he didn't let anybody. He kept doing his thing. Something.
Hmm.
yeah. Basically, most of his entire body of work happened during the time
Hmm.
he was sick.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, someone on Twitter put it in a very nice light that I thought was they were like um the reason he had, or maybe he thought he had to keep it secret, because as soon as you dealing with something as colon cancer is a big thing. So if you even let anyone in the media know, they may not even want to work with you anymore because they don't see you as a
Yeah, an
liability
insurance
now.
policy.
So yeah, right. And he he did it, and like there's something I want to say, but
No worries.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to say it yet.
Well, we're still processing. It's only been what like 3 days,
Yeah.
4 days of that.
Hmm.
It hasn't at the time we were recording. It hasn't
Hmm.
been a week yet.
Yeah. Like it hasn't even
Yeah.
like you know hit me like all the way. I'm still
Yeah, man. It was just like it felt like losing a family member because I was just not doing anything, just being sad. Like, cause I've
hmm
been bummed out before with people passing, but like that was just like actual
Hmm.
grief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
There was a few there was a few moments of the day where I was like, man, like where I could feel like if I didn't hold it in, I'd be crying at the moment.
Dude, like legit, like there were points where I was like, fuck, like I almost wanted to, because I was like, what a fucking, also
Hmm.
what a time to lose, uh in socially, to lose a figure like that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And then not to segue out from that, but it happened right after, at the time we didn't know if the NBA was going to continue or not, because of boycotts, because of obviously how fucked up the world is, and
Hmm.
I respected their decision to play just because it was their decision. You know what I mean? Because I knew that it was their choice. I would have respected it. Whatever they chose to do, I would have respected it because I knew it would be them coming together and doing that. You know what I mean? If they wanted to just fucking go
Hmm.
home and not fucking put money into this shit, I would understand. But if they also wanted, that's such a good platform as well.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
said like the NBA
Hmm.
was the best counter programming to the RNC at that time. You know what I mean? Because it was just the only time that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Urlacher opened his mouth and fucked up.
Oh my god, that
Not
actually
too long
hurt.
after that.
After I read everything he said, I was like, that, that makes no sense. How dare?
Yeah, it was just the timing was not good. And it was
No.
just like nothing about it was correct. Um,
Yeah.
and it was just, I mean, but I will say there are times when I don't like when the internet does stuff like this. But this time I found it funny. Was like I saw a tweet that says, and for no reason, remember that Lance Bridge was the most underrated member of the Bears defensive line. And I was like, that's the way to do it. But yeah, it was just like
That's how you get her.
it was such as usually Chicago's pretty good about having like, oh, this athlete is associated with the cities, and usually they're pretty forward thinking, but not
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
not this time with him. And I was like,
Okay. Shoot. You know it's bad when the team makes a public statement like, yeah, what he
Ain't got
said,
nothing to do with
no.
us.
we ain't accepting his calls no more.
He's not invited by the child.
Right. And then kind of similar. This one's more recent, but kind of a similar vein. Um, Ruben Langdon, the voice actor for Dante from Devil May Cry, he started shouting out this documentary talking about how COVID's fake, and we were like,
No.
come on, man, like, because he's always been kind of like a conspiracy theorist in a way. Like he's always
Mm-hmm.
shared like ideas,
Hmm.
but it's weird because it's like I don't. From what it sounds like from people who know him, and from what I've gathered, I don't know if that makes him a bad person automatically. But it is disappointing when it's like they show like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're just not thinking that far ahead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like one person said, like,
Hmm.
it's just like, unfortunately, like the worst thing is he's just gullible, so he's just believing this thing that he's hearing, and he's posting it. But it's like, you use like the same language as like the not my but the president, and it's like, it's just.
Hmm.
And people are so impressionable because that's like the closest thing this podcast has to a topic is not only like mental health in quarantine, but just talking about how social media can kind of morph our perception. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Specifically like memes, because I've noticed, and I've talked a lot about this with Taylor off camera, just as Taylor's usually my soundboard for whenever I have to get philosophical. Um, it's just like there's a distinct lack of there's plenty of sympathy on the internet, but not a lot of empathy from stuff like memes, right? Because it's like, yeah, they're funny, but they also kind of break you down to a point where you're not even really human anymore. And in human situations, here's a good example, because this is not defending Naughty Dog and whatever practices they've done that I don't agree with. But I saw a tweet where it was like Neil Druckmann put out a tweet where it was just like a gif of Ellie doing the like a meme thing, just like just a fucking have fun, right? And then someone retweeted it and then there's time like, imagine being the animator who had the slave making that, and then they kept making jokes, and they did a little story where it was like, please, I just want to go home, blah blah blah, and then I want to see my kids, and at the end they said parody is dead, and I'm like, well, number one, the main problem with the internet is it's all text, so you can't tell context, right?
Yeah.
Everything sounds condescending and snarky at a base level written, right? And then with that, I was like, I get what you're trying to say, and you're not wrong in criticizing Naughty Dog, but you do realize you're also, in a way, dehumanizing the people you think you're supporting, right? Because you're turning the people who are being abused and mismanaged into a punchline, in a way. You know what I mean? It's like little shit like that. And then you see it throughout, all the way throughout the internet. You know what I mean? That's why... Go ahead, Taylor.
I guess that's I guess this is a bad time to say I actually like that tweet.
No, it's a good tweet. You know what I mean? But I never said it was a
my part of the problem.
No, you're not. I mean, we all are. Like, we all part of the problem. We're all part of the solution. So I'm not like they're right for going at Naughty Dog, but it's like you can trace that behavior down, or it's like I think I'm not saying that they did the wrong thing, but that kind of shifts it away from the people, right? Because then it's like just making a joke. That wasn't the best example on my part. This is the only one I could think of. But you can.
No, you good.
But I guess to kind of launch that into that is I just the pandemic has really changed my relationship with it, because I used to love going on Twitter, and dude, I'm getting to the point where I don't go on anymore, because here's the thing: when all the unrest happened, I figured as an ally it was my responsibility to not look away from what was going on, right? And I felt like that was a better source of information than like the news, because my parents watch the news all the time, and I'm like, I've been in that world, and I've worked a tiny bit in that world, and I know how easy it is to skew things and leave things out, right? So I always champion social media as a way where I was like, okay, you're seeing what's actually happening. But I don't know, man. It's just like the more days go on, I just can't be on there anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying people don't have legitimate gripes, because the world is incredibly messed up. But there's also just so much toxic stuff on there where it's like it's not helping me, and I think you guys know what I stand for. You know what I mean?
It can easily mess you up if you're on it for like a long enough. It can, I understand where you're coming from. It's a very toxic place. So I understand where you're coming
from. I mean, shoot, the way you feel about Twitter is the way I feel about Facebook.
Oh, 100%.
Which is why
like
I stay though. Like, I rarely go on Facebook unless I get like an important notification. Then I'll look at it. But as well, like I told Mike Hell about this the other day. I was like, dude, I scroll down Facebook and I just see so much negativity and ignorance. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, and it's tough for me, because like I understand that some of that negativity is coming from a good place, right? And it's coming from a place to want to affect change, but I don't know what it is, dude. It's just it's that, even if that's the intent, it's not what it's doing, right? Like all it does is turn off the people who are against it even more, and makes them feel more justified. But like I don't have a better answer, so I don't want to like be like, oh yeah, fuck that. I just got to the point where it was like, because I get fucking bored, so I just scroll. So it got to the point where I'll just go on Instagram, like that's it. And it's like at this point, it's like my feed is only like, it shows me like the same 5 people. So it's like less stress, because you and I have talked about this, the fucking algorithm for YouTube. It's like you watch something, like you watch a particular topic a lot, right? And you like it. So the way YouTube works is that they'll go, oh, you like this? let me show you all the videos talking about why this is horrible and you're a horrible person for enjoying this. And we'll show you nothing but that. And it's just like...
I mean, yeah. Fucking, that happened with me and fucking, I went to listen to, and it's not dissing anything. I went to listen to one particular Christian song, and then my whole feed got missed. Oh, you like this? I was like, no, I just want to hear that one song specifically. I don't want anything else from here.
Man,
and then when you want to see more of something, they show you nothing. Like, you can't find it.
Right.
But it's just like, and I've been thinking, I try not to think about it too much. Because me and Taylor have talked about that. It's like, you'll live longer by not worrying about what other people feel about what you like. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I've taught shit about properties and stuff like that, but I would never go to somebody who likes them and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Because, like, people can't control what their emotional response is to things. You know what I mean? Fucking, you see how the world is. You gotta cope somehow. But I've been trying to think about why. Okay, so case in point, the Persona community, when 5 came out, it was great because, and that's why I was on Twitter so much, because there was so much content being made. You know, like art, fiction, just personalities. And then it just got toxic because, like, then those content creators became figures, and then just the whole narrative around the game changed. But that never changed how I felt about the game. But it did change where I just won't engage with the fandom anymore because it's not worth it. But I've been trying to wonder.
Yeah. No. Finish that sentence. I was just coming at.
And I was just trying to figure out why. And then I moved to another. My main thing now is Ruby, and I'm trying to. And that gets a lot of hate nowadays because people think it's not as good as it used to be, and whatnot. And again, there are claims that have merit, right? And they come from a natural place. But I've been trying to figure out why that bothers me more than other things, because I've defended that show for things that I've criticized other properties for. And I think I realized that the reason why I feel that way is because, unlike some other things, Ruby is still based out of YouTube, so it's completely free to watch. So you're not losing anything by because I understand, like, talking about a game or a movie or even streaming or something like that, because you're paying money to get it and you want to get your value back, right? But with this, you're literally just losing your time. So I don't, like, I'll always respect someone who's like, I used to like it, I hate it now, so I won't watch it, as opposed to someone who devotes their time talking about why they hate it and then, like, just being negative about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a large reason I tend to stay away from the gaming side of Twitter, because it's like the smallest opinion you could have on liking something within a time frame, someone's gonna come in and be like, I don't know why, for the love of fucking God, you like that? Whatever you're liking, you should stop and subscribe to my opinion on how I feel about the game.
How can you look at your mother while liking that? And it's just you and I you got blocked by somebody for liking some stuff, basically calling out their behavior, right?
You did,
right? Yeah, I got blocked by. So
redacted.
It's this one dude. I won't say his name. He ain't getting no clout from me.
Especially now.
So, especially. So, fucking, he just has a weird fanboy, what's the word? Fanboy complex. And so, basically, he's just like, I'm all for it. Look, bro, play what you like, but never ever tear someone down for what they enjoy, because why would you do that? We only have a certain amount of hours on this earth.
For real.
That's not guaranteed. So you will spend your own time degrading someone over what they like. And so there was a few tweets like that. I liked them. And then, so the other day, and let me tell you, this was months back,
Oh wow.
and so I didn't care if he blocked me by, but someone was like, "Oh yeah, he blocks everybody." So I clicked on his account and was like, "Oh, I'll block," and I told Ben about
Wait
it.
a minute.
That's some high school shit right there.
Like,
Like we back in high school. I mean, you can't have that opinion. That's wrong. I was an opinion.
Right. How's my belief
right,
run? And also like, because I liked some you put on Instagram not so long ago. Today we were talking about like, I don't understand bullying. Like, how the fuck does me being ugly
Oh
affect you?
yeah, yeah, that was funny.
It's like
right,
that same principle, right? Like I'm watching something in the comfort of my own
for real,
home. I'm not forcing you to watch it. Why are you focusing on this? You know what I mean?
right,
And I get it, where it's
right.
like,
So did
go ahead.
for real. Did you see what I liked and you just took offense to that? It's like, oh my god, that just challenges my beliefs, so I must be mad at what you do.
Fuck you and fuck your family. And it's like, yeah, it's just I don't know how that started because it's like there are aspects I
Hmm.
love about fandom, and then there are aspects I absolutely hate. Cause like
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if like I don't give a fuck if I love Persona 5 wrestling and Ruby. That does not fucking make me who I am, and that doesn't affect what
Hmm.
I've done in the world, right? And that also doesn't make
Right.
that doesn't mean I prescribe to whatever they prescribe to. Because I've always I live my life where it's like two things can be right at the same time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like something can be a step forward and also problematic. Like hip hop is a big thing like that, right? And, like hip hop is great and gives a lot of voices, but
Mm-hmm.
there
Yeah.
are also aspects that are very problematic about it, especially for women. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean fucking burn hip hop to the ground. You know what I mean? It just means you gotta fucking grow.
Right. You can restructure something like thinking. I used to say during high school, I'd rather have an ideal than a belief because an ideal is something that you can, it's malleable. You can construct an ideal however
For
you
real.
want. A belief is something rooted, and so it's always this uh shape and form, no matter which way you try to move it.
Right, and history is filled of how like of examples of why that goes wrong, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
felt the exact. I think it's one because I felt that exact same way down to the phrasing. But I would feel the same way about ideals versus
Hmm.
beliefs. So I think that's funny that we felt the same
Right.
way. Um, this one's getting into drama, but we talked about this beforehand, and it's something that we stand for. Um, so Aaron Zek, actor from Ruby, also streamer on Twitch. She came out not too long ago
Hmm.
talking about how her ex, who's an actor, we won't give him clout, emotionally and mainly emotionally abused and manipulated her, gaslit her, and I had fucking I took notes of like all the fucking things he said because it was wild to me. And the reason I'm bringing it up because of course as soon as he said it, his fans started harassing her, and it's to the point where I think all her social media is locked right now. It's not public, which which is a bummer for me because she's always been, Black Lives Matter and positivity and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I fucking understand
Hmm.
Oh yeah, of
about
course.
not wanting to see that stuff because she got like a DM calling her all kinds of names and saying, "Why are your comments closed if you're telling the truth?" And it's like it's because of people like fucking you, dude. And it's like
Hmm.
allegedly he berated her for not knowing what Akira was, um, like intensely. His as soon as they started dating, his fans started harassing her, and she told him about it, and he was like, "Don't worry about it." She got assaulted at a convention, and then he claimed that she was cheating on her because of that. So it was just
Hmm.
like nasty thing, and it goes into that thing where it's like the Vic thing, right? Because we're very much a Kit Vic
Hmm.
channel, and it's like, and that's like the downside of the Johnny Depp thing, where it's like people were like, oh, they're all fucking lying, right? And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
even
Hmm.
if they were, which I don't think they are, even if they were, how does that justify your behavior? You know what I mean? Because you're basically doing what you're criticizing them of, and it's also like, why do you care so much
Right.
to attack them like that? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Well, it was like Dante said this when we were talking before. He was like, I don't like the way we were raised. We don't do shit like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the hell
As
happened.
people that
Mm-hmm.
as people that we came up with, I don't know. Like, and I don't think our upbringings were all that different than
No.
the rest of the world. You know what I mean? I think we had a very, uh, not quite standard, but there are things about our upbringing that are pretty universal. You know what I mean? We didn't have like a super complicated situations. You know what I mean? To change how we view things.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, just what your thoughts are on that.
It's a lot.
You know, it's a lot to unpack. You're right, but
It's a lot. Fucking. See, my whole standpoint on things like this of this nature is we should always wait for the facts and things like that. I'm not going to. Well, I'm not trying to knock any side, but if someone's telling you that they are being harassed in these things, and your first instinct is to call them a liar, or maybe it didn't happen this way, or maybe you misunderstand, like, you are not taking into account what this person has been going through. You're not even trying to be compassionate with them. Your first instinct was to fucking belittle them, and like, how does that make sense?
for real, I think you hit it on the head. I think that's the exact root of the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's like the whole approach to it, right? Because it was like, because because I will, obviously I'm biased because I'm a fan of hers, but like even like she wasn't like, she, and then people were like, oh, why'd she say it on the stream? Like that's not the proper. How are you gonna tell a quote unquote victim the proper way to talk about it, right? Because like that feeds into what you were saying. But from what she framed it where she was trying to say where she's like, just obviously this is how it works. You get separated from your friends and your family and stuff like that, and she was just saying it to kind of fucking not carry it with her anymore and to fucking move on. And then people twist like, oh, you're trying to ruin his career. I was like, I mean,
that's
sure, but like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people wonder why people don't speak up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she's okay. I want to get that out first. I hope she's doing okay.
Right.
Because like that's a. Well, I agree with everything you both said. Like, it's toxic. It's very sad, and like it's scary too because her eyes, it's like, oh man, I got no one on my side and I'm on my own. I don't know what to do. So that's very scary.
Mm-hmm. Right. People like that, they're always the first to criticize, but they never want to bring up, like they'd be like, okay, well, why are you doing it like this? Why aren't you doing it like what? Like, how can you tell someone how to feel at a certain moment in time? This is like, it's kind of like the fucking whole kneeling thing. How can you tell someone how you want to stand up for something?
Right, and I think you're getting that. That's the crux of like the problem of our condition, right? Is that why I don't. It started long before us, but I don't understand the obsession with controlling how other people respond to things. You know what I mean? Like I get that there are certain responses you don't want to have happen, right? Because it's human nature. But I think like I think we just need to leave. We gotta find a way to not only allow people to be individuals, but also like not demonize people, right? Because that's never gonna change, even if like the behavior is not saying. And I'm not because you and I had a conversation about forgiveness, which I thought was a very good conversation. Because I think we both agreed, like I think forgiveness should be up to the individual. You know what I mean? But I think you should be allowed to forgive who you want to forgive. But I also think you don't have to accept. You don't have to forgive somebody. You know what I mean? I think it's up to the individual. And
you can forgive a person, but you never have to forget what they done to you.
Of course, yeah.
Right, and it's like people like to lump everything into the same thing, but there are levels to things. You know what I mean? Like, I get it'd be easier if everything was all simple, but it's not. Because like Weinstein and stuff like that, that's not cancel culture. That's someone being a monster and breaking the law and getting what he deserves. You know what I mean? That's different than like if it's somebody's something said, all you can do is have them fucking apologize and then see if they fucking change their behavior. You know what I mean? Like, demonizing them isn't gonna work, but also like it shouldn't be a free pass, because like when we were kids, Mel Gibson said some horrible, awful shit, and then he was gone for a little bit, and now he's back, and I don't know if he learned his lesson or not. You know what I mean? I don't really know if he fucking. I doubt it. You know what I mean? So like there are levels. You know what I mean? It's not like there's not a blank. The human experience is not a blanket experience. So I don't know why people think that would be the same as well.
No. Right. I mean, I guess it's the whole power structure of thing. It's the internet gives power structure a whole new meaning to it, because now you have people who used to get bullied, and now they can do the bullying with anonymity. Like, I could hide behind this fake profile, call you all types of names, and then actually never be punished by it, because what could you do?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it reminded me of a point I wanted to make. And it was like looking on the internet, you can definitely see who has certain social skills and who never learned them. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying that to make a joke or make an insult. Like, there are people who don't know how to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Right.
And you see it, and it's fucking terrifying.
There's people on the internet who act a certain type of way, have a certain type of bravado, braggadociousness to them. But then if they were actually to be in the same room with you, they never say 9 out of 10 of the things that they were saying online to you.
Right, they would like shake your hand or not even make eye contact. You know what I
mean? Oh, hey, how you doing? Like, nah.
Right.
Like, no, I won't have that same energy. Keep that same energy.
Say what you wanted to say. And like the other thing about the internet that I find fascinating is like if you look on the internet, there are certain things where it's like a TV show, a movie, a song, whatever have you. And like if you look at the internet, they think it's like the worst thing to ever happen to mankind. And then if you look anywhere else, it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's a thing that happened. People liked it, people don't like it. And I was like, well, like there are plenty of movies where I was like, and it's like I like CinemaSins, but that's kind of like a product of that, right? That kind of wave, where people will like. Right. Oh, fucking narration is the devil. It's like, no, it's not. It's a tool. You know what I mean? Use it. You can fucking use it if you want to use it. But yeah, I find that fascinating. You know. Sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
It's like, did you hear about the voice actor for Squidbillies?
No, what happened?
Okay, so probably a few weeks ago. He said some really outlandish shit, but apparently he had always had that mindset. And so, if you've ever watched Squidbillies, you know what type of show it is, and you know that it's making fun of southern rednecks.
Yeah, the quote unquote stereotype of the South.
Very raunchy.
Right, but. So what they were make fun of, the main voice actor didn't know it was a joke.
Oh no!
Like, you know, like didn't know that they were using that stereotype for comedy and making fun of it.
He thought it was a platform. He didn't think it was being the butt of a joke.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, was it? I could think that I'm not even gonna say what I could think of what he said, because I can only imagine. Wow.
And it's so funny. See, this whole internet thing is like shoot, the other day, me and Michael were playing Call of Duty, and we're doing good. We're getting called the N word by some group of white
Some
kids.
8-year-old white kid.
Yeah, okay, you're saying right. You're saying that online, but if we were in the same room with you, you wouldn't say it.
Yeah, it's like the internet thing. That's hilarious. It's
a lot of posers.
I have no idea how we got to this point. Sorry, go ahead, Dante.
Oh no.
I can tell you a way we got into it. I can't tell you how the whole of it, like the way we got to, especially if you look at the internet, the internet has no cutoff filter. Like, fucking, when Chadwick Boseman died, Doug Bowser, head of Nintendo of America, put out a tweet about it, and a fan was like, "Oh, you know why he died? He died waiting for Mother's 3 to be released in the what?"
Yeah, that's fucking.
Like, it's things
that's
like that.
Yeah, it's the meme. It's the meme thing. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's like people don't look at other people as human beings anymore. They look at them as like a line of text to put into above a picture. You know what I mean? And that's funny. But that's also been linked to a lot of the ways that the right wing, the alt right, has came up by using shit like that. And I won't say I feel bad because they're a fucking multi-million-dollar corporation, but I do fucking feel some empathy for fucking Rooster Teeth, because like they came out and they're like, yeah, we had some, which I thought was good, because they're like, we had some content that doesn't fucking hold up today. We apologize for it. We're gonna go through and fucking. Like, they're going to go through the videos, and they're not to take down the videos, they're going into the videos and taking those parts out, which takes a lot of work.
Oh. What I'd rather have them do is what Warner Brothers does with their old cartoon. They put up
the warning
message that, the warning that it was a different time, but our policies now do not condone that. I'd rather them do
right,
that.
which is, and they're,
because if you remember,
good.
If you remember a while back, they tried to stop using Speedy Gonzalez because it was a caricature of Mexicans. But then Mexicans were like, no, they the people trying to cancel that don't speak for us, and we actually like this character because of representation.
That you see that a lot with Asian communities. That there's a lot of the same way with that, and but the reason I was bringing that with Rooster Teeth is I feel bad because like they have like quote unquote woke fans who like hate everything they do just because of what to their company, and they had those layoffs before and blah blah blah. So they're like the devil, and then they have their old fans who was like, oh, they fucking went woke, they went soft, fuck them. So I was like, no matter what they do, they're gonna fucking get heat for it. And with them as a whole, it's interesting because they're still very much YouTube, right? And they're kind of what we're trying to be in many ways by trying to expand and stuff. But I feel bad because like there's a fucking guy in a suit in charge now, right? Way up top, who doesn't have to deal with this shit. The people who have to deal with this shit are people like us who are just fucking making content. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's rough, man. I don't know. Like I don't want to say that this needs to blah 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 and this needs to blah blah blah, because I don't know the right way to go about it. And I know that there are a lot of times they're steeped in legitimate reasons. And a lot of times one of the worst things you can do is just allow people to do things, you know what I mean, unchecked. So I get that. But also it's like you do lose something humanity-wise. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's basically what I had for all the notes. I have fucking unrelated, just goofy stories I can share if anybody has anything else they want to talk about. I think we've been going for almost an hour-ish. I forgot to do a timer, so...
I really enjoyed it.
I know it's on brand for us, right?
Yeah, like our topics are
it's definitely the most serious we've ever been on the channel.
I was just gonna,
we're not even making that many jokes
because everything we talk about has been like sort of serious stuff. It would be like in poor taste to talk about something funny like the stuff we're talking about.
Well, I'm grateful just to talk about it with you guys, because obviously I have a high opinion of you guys, and I like knowing how you guys feel about this stuff. So I think it's cool that we can kind of just put that out there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But I do have a next gen style story to end it on if we want.
Go ahead.
It's not really a story. It's just like, you know how I love complaining about my parents on here. So so we were ordering like 2 nights ago one of our favorite Asian restaurants. I won't say the name just because I don't want to make them look bad. But there's a particular delivery guy who, like, I think he might own the store. He's one of the guys like in charge, and he's a nice guy, very chatty. Like him and my stepmom chitty chat a lot, and you know, with COVID they don't really want they weren't looking forward to that. So they called me in and it was like, and then Chitty looked at me all serious, and Dad looked at me all serious. Like, hey, we need you to get the food and open the door because we don't want to talk to him. Like, you guys have 100 years of experience between the two of you, and you can't fucking cut off a conversation with this one guy. And I feel for the guy, right? Because it's like, he's just playing by the fucking rules that they set, right? That they made it. They put their consent that one time. They opened the door, and he put his foot in. You know. So and it's like, and also it was like, because Chitty does that thing that's a very human thing where they're like, okay, so for example, you're going to a family outing, say Christmas, birthday, or whatever, and you think that one cousin, that one auntie, that one uncle, you're like, I hate them, I can't stand talking to them, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the night, and then as soon as you get there, you go and sit down and talk to them. And I was like, well, what the fuck? Don't go to them then, you know? Like, Chitty does that thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to him today. And then as soon as she opened, it was like, hi, how's it going? How have you been? I'm like, you're inviting him to talk.
That's exactly what my mom does. She tries to keep a straight face, but she can't. Like, every time, yeah. I know exactly where you're coming from.
And it was like, I just gave my dad so much shit that he was like, okay, I'll do it. So it was fine.
He's probably worried about it, too.
During this pandemic, man. You gotta look them straight in the eye, like, I thank you.
Bye.
Close the door.
Can't play no games, man. I mean, you're already taking a little bit of a risk by getting the food in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So like, why fucking double down by sharing oxygen? Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Next time we'll be doing something like Fall Guys or Avengers, or maybe we'll fucking get OBS to work and we'll do a different something else.
Right.
But I've.
This was the process right here.
We'll workshop. Or at the very least, we can keep doing podcasts. We can find more topics.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. This is probably one of my favorite things we've ever done. In almost 2 years on here. Hopefully I can fucking edit the audio. We can actually use this.
Right.
Yeah, so I apologize for any lagginess in my video, kids. But anyway, be safe. Fucking just don't be an asshole, guys.
That's be our new motto.
That's all I got. Put it on a t-shirt. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
We can.
All I gotta say.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All I gotta say is, you got 24 hours that aren't guaranteed. Go do something. Go spread peace and positivity. We don't need negativity, especially not in the time we're dealing with now. There's too much going on in the world. We're losing role models. We're losing loved ones. It's a whole pandemic, people.
Yeah.
Show some compassion.